Hey, it's Dave Brown here, host of Now with Dave Brown on AMI. Check out this latest highlight from the show. National Accessibility Week is on the horizon. It takes place at the end of the month, and June 1st will also mark the Global Day of Parents. Our friend Marco Pasqua is going to be part of an event that will put the focus on parenting with a disability. Marco is an accessibility consultant and joins us from Vancouver. Hey, good morning, Marco.
Good morning, Dave. And sorry if I sound a little hoarse this morning. I was up with my daughter all night, so that is the role of being a parent. This is perfect for the show.
Speaking of parenting, not getting a lot of sleep, and then we make you join us at 6:30 local time for you in the morning, so we're very unkind too. If it's not one thing, it's another. Hey, Marco, let's start with some of the basics here on this event. What are some of the details of this event being held on June 1st?
Exactly. Yeah. Thanks for asking. So, as you mentioned at the top of the show, it's June 1st is the Global Day of Parents with parents during National Accessibility Week. And I'm one of the co-producers. We're having 12 speakers from around the world, all speakers with disabilities, who are sharing how they advocated for themselves and for other parents who don't fit the mold, the predetermined mold on what it means to be a parent. And I just think it's extremely timely because I know that for myself, having cerebral palsy, there was a lot of predetermined judgments on me prior to being a dad. And we think that sharing stories from around the world of parents with disabilities will really open up people's eyes in terms of what is possible in terms of parenting with a disability. So we're really, really excited about it.
Yeah, Marco, I remember in the early days of you becoming a father, you did this really wonderful segment for us about some of the accessible gear and some of the adaptive gear you've put around the house. So now it's been about a year, a little more than a year since you became a parent. How has time changed the way you're feeling about it and how you're adapting?
To be honest, like it's actually been easier to work with my daughter as she's gotten a little bit bigger, and I've been able to kind of cart her around the house a little bit, and she's not as frail. I'm more confident as a dad to be able to pull her out of that accessible crib, to be able to independently do a bunch of things in my wheelchair with her. And honestly, it's going to sound super cheesy. Mother's Day was yesterday. I couldn't love her anymore. The intelligent person that she's becoming at 13 months, she knows so many words. She communicates with us through sign, because Karen, my wife, she used to do some early childhood classes and taught her sign at like 4 months old. And so to be able to have her communicate and not be frustrated with us as she's learning her language development has been a huge eye opener for me.
Marco, it's interesting you mentioned as they get a little bit bigger, you can get a little more comfortable. I know that's one of my feelings about when I get to hold my friends' babies or when my niece was really little. When they're really, really little and fragile, I'm like, no, I'm going to pass this thing off. I'm going to wait till it's a little more sturdy.
Maybe that's a guy thing. I don't know. Every single guy I talk to, no matter how strong or burly they are, they're like, no, thanks, I'll pass. But, we'll get there soon.
Oh, I can be gentle. I just worry. My hands are sometimes, the thing is squirming and my hands are a little strong. It can get a little strange. So, Marco, I just shared one of my vulnerabilities there, but that's a very small vulnerability. What do you think the importance is in people from all over sharing that kind of vulnerability? Because I think sometimes we may just focus on some of the positives and not be willing to have the conversations about the struggles.
Yeah, well, I think that, being that it's a global stage, we're bringing in people from around the globe. They're going to be experiencing things in their environment, and things in potentially Australia or India or other locations outside of Canada may experience being a parent completely different than what it is that we experience. And I think that, this is a real opportunity for us to showcase that people have to allow themselves to be a little bit more vulnerable. Maybe they do need to ask for a little bit more help when it comes to diaper changes at the beginning. I know that my daughter, she squirms a lot while she's on the table, and me in my chair, she's always moving around. So short of us putting a little strap on her, it's very difficult for me to roll her over and do those things. But I learned, when I got the adapted crib, they advised me, start working out and lifting weights in a different way. You go to the gym, but lift weights from outside of this crib and try to pull it out, because the experiences that you have in the nursery are going to be completely different than that of, at the gym. And pulling out 18, 20 pounds out of a crib is totally different than bicep curling 20 pounds type of thing. So
Mm.
there's so many things that I had to learn about navigating my home, using one arm to hold my daughter while switching on and off lights, or using voice control sometimes. So, you can create those adaptations around your home with whatever your abilities are to make your life easier. And then that way you're less vulnerable in those situations.
It's a very good point, Marco. Dumbbells do not squirm at the gym. They're a little more static than your standard organic human being. Marco,
You got it.
Scratch a little bit deeper about the global focus here, the way in which you're bringing people from all over the world. Why was that a priority for you and your co-organizers?
Yeah, I think that it was a priority because you can't really learn new things about yourself and about others if you're only extracting people from the same area of the globe that you're in. I think it was really important for us to really understand what people are going through on different continents, so that we can open up a communication forum that is really inviting and people feel like they have a place to go. Because I'll be quite honest with you, Dave, when I look for resources for parents with disabilities, there are few and far between out there. There isn't a lot of websites that are available where people can go and find out resources about what it is that they need in terms of being a parent, in terms of the adaptions, in terms of some of the things that you would have as vulnerabilities. So this is our opportunity for people to share it through presentations, through poems, through music. And we have a wide spectrum of people who just want to share what their experiences has been like in a new art form.
I don't know if you'll find this unfair, but I would say this event is a little bit more formal. And as you identified, there's
Sure.
not a lot of places that people can go to get information about parenting with a disability. But do you find in your own experience that people are still having those informal conversations inside perhaps a circle of friends?
Are you kidding me? All the time. In fact, I go to playgrounds with my daughter. That is where you get all the tea, as they say. People are, gossiping or talking about what it's like to be a parent. The cool thing is that they're not automatically assuming that I'm not the parent. When they hear me say, "Dad, come to daddy," they realize. I see some people have an aha moment. Oh my goodness, that guy in the wheelchair is the dad. But otherwise, they'll ask me, "How old is your daughter?" All the normal questions. And the cool thing is that I get to put on a little bit of a showcase. Now, you know me, I'm a bit of an extrovert, so it doesn't bother me, but I love to be able to show people, yes, I am a dad. And yes, my 13-month-old goes behind me when I say, "Help daddy," and she starts to push my wheelchair, and their hearts immediately melt seeing this, 2.5 foot tall human being push around her father because she's been taught about compassion and empathy towards others. And I think that is the conversation starter that we need to have, is understanding that even though somebody comes from a different place that you do in this world, that you could learn some things from these individuals. And those experiences I get to have with my friends and with strangers all the time.
So, Marco, let's circle back to where we started. Where can people find out more about this event on June the 1st?
Yeah, so this event is actually being put on by an organization called Speaker Slam based out of Toronto. So shout out to Speaker Slam. And the website is speakerslam.org/events. And you can go on there and get your tickets. We're really, really excited to put this on. This is the second year that we put this event on, and we're hoping it's bigger and better than ever.
Right on. Hey, Marco, when we talk to you again in a couple of weeks, you can give us the lowdown on how it went, and we'll talk about all kinds of more neat stuff. But all the best to you and the family, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good, Dave. Talk to you soon.
That's Marco Pasqua, an accessibility consultant. Do you want to dive into more conversations like this? Watch Now with Dave Brown weekdays at 9 a.m. Eastern on AMI TV or download the podcasts wherever you listen. Do you want to dive into more conversations like this? Watch Now with Dave Brown weekdays at 9 a.m. Eastern on AMI TV or download the podcasts wherever you listen.